Welcome, I am Miss Bizz, and you are about to watch ESO Morrowind. Does it hold a candle to Orsinium? To give you a quick recap, Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind is the very first chapter of ESO. It's kind of like an expansion, but ESO likes to do everything a little bit different, so you do not need to be max level to take part in this. Not only does Elder Scrolls Online Morrowind contain a brand new zone that is the largest one to date, contains a new trial, a new warden class, and battlegrounds. Along with this, like every other major Elder Scrolls Online update, there is a ton of base game changes coming your way. Most of it is geared towards balance and gameplay, but a lot of people have been talking about that, so I figured I'd talk about something a little closer to my heart. Although I am extremely excited to get to play a warden class in ESO, and I'm definitely going to dip my toes into battlegrounds, what is most important to me is how the story stacks up. As many of you probably know, the Orsinium DLC is by far my favorite. This is because the questing and story content is way better than the base game, and it just blew me out of the water. This is what I find is most important for me about Vvardenfell, the new zone, and the entire ESO Morrowind chapter. So let's get right into it. How's it stack up? One of the things I dearly loved about the Orsinium DLC is that the characters you met, you actually were reoccurring. You saw them quite often. This actually allowed you to connect to the characters, whether you loved or hated them, but you felt they were by your side and that they were very important. Now, the closed beta of Morrowind has only been out for a couple of weeks, so I most definitely have not done all of the story and questing content it has to offer. But I definitely tried to do some of it to get a good feel about how it is, and if I figure I'll enjoy it. From what I've seen so far in Vvardenfell, it does a decent job at having reoccurring characters. It's not so in-your-face as Orsinium, so you might not feel quite as connected to these characters, but it definitely does have them. I felt they could have taken how I feel with these characters a little bit farther. Whether they want me to love them or hate them, I didn't feel exceptionally one way or the other, and I felt that was actually a great thing about Orsinium. I knew whether I liked somebody or not. Every time this guy talks, it makes me hate him more. Another great quality of Orsinium was that I felt the stories were amazing. It didn't matter if it was just a one-off little side quest or the main quest in Orsinium. I felt like what I was doing mattered and I wanted to do it. I wasn't just doing it to get done. This is important because this is pretty much saying if your story and your questing is quality, like if it has any quality to it. That is the #1 most important thing. So how did I feel in Vvardenfell? Amazing! Something I think that ESO Morrowind has done better of is all these little side quests that I'm doing. I actually really care about. The little stories they have are important, and they seem like they might come to something larger, and like I said, I haven't got all that far, so I'm not sure if they do or not, but even if they don't, I felt even side quests were amazing. So that's something I actually give to Morrowind over Orsinium, is that the side quests seem more important to me. They seem like I'm helping more. On the flip side, the main story, I understand so far I'm doing something important, but I don't feel the pressure yet. But I haven't got all that far into the main story, so that could change pretty quickly. But yes, the side quests in Morrowind are great. I feel like I connected with the characters even over the short time I met them, and I felt like what I was doing mattered. When I spoke to people, they of course had funny quips and made me laugh or made me a little bit sad, but the quest would actually invoke feeling, and this was with the main story and the side quests, and I loved it. So the questing quality in Morrowind so far has been fantastic. Atmosphere. Orsinium was the very first time that we really was able to feel this, and even on the follow-up DLCs of Dark Brotherhood and Thieves Guild, we did get more atmosphere in the cities and even just in the countryside. Although the atmosphere isn't necessarily part of the story, I think it's still important to how you feel about the story and how you feel if you're really in this world. Orsinium did a great job. They made all the walls taller. You really felt you were in a city when you were in one. And the outdoors outside of the cities was just breathtaking. There are some great landscape shots to be had in Orsinium and even in Hughesbane and the Gold Coast. Now, I feel that Varnenfell did this in a different way than Orsinium, but different isn't bad. Different is good. The cities aren't as tall, but they definitely make you feel like you are inside of a city, not just passing by a couple little houses on the side of a road. That is great. Another great thing is as you are traveling around Vardenfell, you're going to be in a lot of different biomes. This makes you realize that depending on where you are on this zone, you can be in really different environments and they feel good. When you're running around Vivec City, you can feel that it's under construction, but there is also this feeling of power. You can tell this is where a living god would be, especially when you're walking up those great stairs. When you take a wander over to Sadrith Mora, you'll see all these Telvanni mushroom towers. That gives you a feeling of magic, and you understand there is something more than swords and shields going on here. When you're running through Balmora, this is where I really get a city feeling. Although Vivec City is obviously a city, to me it almost feels more like a shrine because the living god is there. Balmora seems like a full-fledged city where people are struggling over power, there might be some kidnappings, or who knows what goes on. But I'm interested in learning these people and learning how this city came to be. All in all, I am very excited for the Elder Scrolls Morrowind chapter to come out on June 6th. Like I said, I didn't want to spoil my own story, and I definitely don't want to spoil yours, but I really recommend grabbing this chapter for the story content. I know I'll be doing a Let's Play of it, and I'm super excited to meet everyone and do everything. So thanks for tuning in. I'm Miss Bizz. Like I mentioned, I've been on the PTS for a little while now, and I'm really enjoying the story content, but I can only tell you so much. There's a lot of things that I've experienced that I think you'll love experiencing for the first time too, so hope to see you in Vardenfell. Bye for now.